Hi, Assalamualaikum to Madam Wani. I am Siti Najwa Ahmad Mukhadzir. Thank you for being here today. I am here today to talk about the hotel industry that affected due to the COVID-19. So, for the introduction, the hotel industry became one of the sub-area that contributed a higher profit for Malaysian revenue from RM 17.3 billion in 2000 and increased to 46.1 billion in 2007. This proved that the hotel industry can give 1.66% in just 7 years. The tourism industry has recorded an absolute profit of RM 3,491.2 million since 2007. This has indirectly helped the hotel industry in generating double profits as a result of the profit due to the growth of the tourism industry to different economic sectors. Overall, the consistent development of the tourism industry has helped other industries that are also involved in the tourism sector. This include grocery store, transportations, and hotels. Malaysia is not an exceptional, as Malaysia also have 1,000 of COVID-19 cases recorded and was under Movement Control Order (MCO), which resulted a downturn on Malaysia's economy, including tourism and hotel industry. A research has denoted that the outbreak of COVID-19 has hugely and adversely impacted Malaysia's touri- Malaysia's Malaysia tourism industry, as tourists from around the world are cancelling bookings and delaying travel plans to Malaysia due to worries about the virus. In addition, the number of tourists has declined due to Malaysian government imposing travel restrictions and ban. It is anticipated that the economic stimulus package would allow the tourism industry to thrive during this difficult time. So, how the hotel industry affected the Malaysian economy? Tourism was meant to boom this year like never before. The promotional push for the Big Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign has been set in motion worldwide. Around 30 million tourists were anticipated by the Southeast Asian nation. The COVID-19 pandemic, however, has put a damper on all this, affecting the more than 3.5 million people employed in the tourism industry in particular. With an estimated loss of RM 3.37 billion in the first 2 months of the year, the outbreak of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 has hit the nation's tourism sector hard. As a consequence, the growth of Malaysia's gross domestic product (GDP) is projected to decrease by as much as 0.8 to 1.6 points for the year, with a total potential loss of up to RM 17.3 billion. So, how it leads to economic downturn? As we know, there are about 105 properties today that provide various ratings and measurement in Kuala Lumpur alone. Starting from that, higher growth of hotels in Kuala Lumpur has been successfully produced, and this has also successfully proven. So, for this COVID-19, including Malaysia, the decline of Chinese traveller had negative effect on the ASEAN economy during the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of outbound tourists from China rise from 10 million in 2003 to almost 87 million each year in 2018, with an average expenses of RM 8,500, which estimated by ASEAN Development Bank more than 3.1 million Chinese tourists visit Malaysia in 2019. So it will affect the Malaysian economy when the Chinese traveller cannot came to the Malaysia to give and to support our economy. So the next one is who are directly and indirectly affected. The first one, the directly that affected uh, due to the COVID-19 is labor. Labor in the hotel industry itself was directly impacted by this pandemic. Globally, tourism is a significant source of employment because of the MCO. President of the Malaysian Associations of Hotel said that the decision had affected 6,000 industry workers who had to be laid off or take unpaid leave for a period of time. It is directly affected for these 6,000 employees because the hotel operations did not operate. Then a number of women working in the tourism industry is 54%, which is slightly higher than than in most other industries. Women are more likely to be part of the tourism industry. However, most women hold low skill tourism jobs, making them vulnerable to shock. So, next, the indirectly affected due to the COVID-19. This outbreak also indirectly affect the several groups of people. It has affect amount of indirect job workers in the productions of constructions, infrastructure, the supplier of food, drinks, souvenir, and for the visitor that supply for the visitors. In addition, many workers at travel agency, airlines, ships, restaurant, shopping center, and other numerous tourist attraction that have interaction with the visitors also indirectly affected by this pandemic. Okay, next one is step taken that are taken by the individual. Before that, one of the first countries to came out with the several fast response to protect its people from COVID-19, it was Malaysia. The key goal was to minimize its economic and social impacts, to restrict its spreads, and to provide people with the treatment. So, for the step taken by individual are because of fear and anxiety while going to the store or on public transport, most of Malaysians prefer to stay at home for potential safety from germs and viruses. When out in public, they need to practice social distancing, wear protective masks, always wash their hands, and avoiding mass gathering as a precautionary against this virus. And starting June 10, the options available for Malaysians are travel within the country only because the border gates are still closed, so they can't go to the overseas. And this will help to revive our country tourism industry, including hotels in Malaysia. Okay. Next is recommendations. So, the latest outbreak of COVID-19 has caused havoc across the world and has affected the hotel industry. The industry, government, and other parties have already took good steps to overcome the effect. But it is enough. So, here are some recommendation that the hotelier can take for the recovery of the hotel. So the recommendations is make sure to have rates available for the next 2 years. The hotelier should make sure that they have rates for the next 2 years as not having rates for a long period ahead. can drastically lower the chances to receive online bookings. Besides, the hoteliers supposedly give benefits to the guests who are booking in advance by offering free nights or a range of attractive inclusions which can help to increase conversions and also the length of stay. This will also help the hotel companies to predict their hotel occupancy. So for the conclusion is um, as the tourism industry will expect a loss between 2.3 to 5.7 billion. MAH is projecting a revenue loss of RM 560.72 million, with occupancy levels that dropped from 32% to 11% in the middle of the month. During the MCO period, this pandemic has affected all individuals, and there is no exception. People who directly affected were the hotel workers and the hotel companies itself, while our tourism industry, Malaysia's GDP, and indirect job workers in numerous tourist attraction service are the one who were indirectly affected. To overcome this problem, the related authorities has taken several steps. The government gives incentives through economic stimulus package such as SME allocations, National Economic Recovery Plan, Penjana, give give tax relief up to 1,000 and digital voucher up to 100 for those who spend their money to the domestic tourism industry. Then many hotels offer work from hotel package to any people that cannot go to the office and don't have a conducive environment at home. Lastly, Malaysian citizens travel within the country only in order to revive our country's tourism industry. That's all from me. Thank you so much.